The year 1850 is displayed as the film begins. In addition, a writer of sufficient renown appears. This author was not a local but had traveled to meet someone. This author knocks on the door of her residence. However, the resident lady requests that the author return because she was considering him to be any customer. However, the author tells the woman about himself, that I am a writer and not a client. While opening the door, this woman calls the writer, who she instantly recognizes. This author had met her husband at this residence, and that woman's husband was named Thomas, who was a senior citizen. This author had approached Thomas to inquire about a story. However, Thomas humiliates the author as soon as he meets him. Are you mad? Have you traveled a great distance to meet with me? However, the author disregards the wrath of Thomas. He tells Thomas that he has come to hear a story. In this instance, the author offers Thomas money. I will give you all of my money if you tell that true story. Saying it, that writer also presents his all payment before Thomas, but Thomas refuses this proposal, and he says to the writer, go and check the government history. You will get that story from there. But that writer says to Thomas, I need to listen that real story by you. I don't need to check the government history. Hearing it, Thomas is infuriated on that writer, and he asks him to leave from there. Thomas also declares that I know nothing. Being worried, that writer begins to leave from there, but Thomas's wife does not let writer go from there. Thomas' wife pardons the writer because of her husband's attitude. Stepping in, Thomas's wife requests the writer to not mind on anything of her husband because Thomas did not yet reveal about that story to anyone including me. Thomas's wife requests her husband here, going to him, that he may tell his story about that incident which they had faced. At last, Thomas consents to tell the story on the request of his wife. The other fact is this, they were very poor. They needed money. Thomas has also agreed due to this need. Thomas calls that writer near him, and he says to him, I will tell you the story to that extent which will be bearable by you, because it was not a fictional story, but a tragedy. Thomas tells, it was such incident in my life which changed me. Now Thomas begins to tell his story. In 1820, it is the time when whale was hunted in the sea. Whale was hunted because its oil was rare. Mostly people used to trade of whale's oil. It was not on ordinary basis among them, but people were the lovers of whaling and extracting its oil. Even the people used to gamble on it. Which ship will get more oil among the sailing ships in the sea? A person is also shown there named Owen. Owen used to serve a company. He had also a wife. It means that he was satisfied with his life. It was whaling company for which Owen used to serve. It is obvious this company was made for whale oil trading. Owen meets that company's owner. They tell Owen that they are sailing a very expensive ship in the sea for whaling. They inform Owen that we are going to send you, hiring as a ship head. Knowing it, Owen gets confused because they had promised Owen that you will be the captain of ship next time. But they took their words back because they were hiring a captain to someone else, and their expected captain's name was George. Actually, George was the son of the company's owner. The company whaler again promises Owen that they will hire him as a captain next time. Owen's wages are increased because of his abilities, so Owen agrees with them, and he says to them that, sign a contract that you will hire me as a captain next time. Then it is seen that Owen was preparing himself for sailing. Owen's wife was not satisfied on his departure. She says to Owen, promise me that you will return soon alive. Owen's wife also makes him put on a locket, so Owen may remember his promise. Afterwards, the same boy George is shown who was a captain. There was also George's father. His father says to him, my son, go and return after getting triumph. Then all whalers gather at a place. There is a crowd of city to send them off. There is a young boy named Thomas also shown there. Yes, he is the young storyteller who has grown old now. Thomas, who was sailing in the sea for whaling first time. There was Owen's childhood friend in the ship along with other friends. After this, Captain George and Owen meet each other. Here a conflict starts between them because George was putting a heavy hand over Owen as being captain. But Owen could not take any action as being subordinate because George was a captain. Then they sail and ship creates a problem sailing at a distance. It was seeming his ship has entrapped at a place, but Owen resolves the risky situation using his skills. It is clear that Owen was able to do it because he was experienced, but Captain George was totally opposite. It means he was not skilled and capable, so he feels the twinge of the envy witnessing such skills of Owen. So he takes revenge Owen at the dining table at night. George degrades Owen too much, that you are layman and the son of farmer. Owen was unable to tolerate this humiliation, but he could not take any action, so he leaves from there, and he says to his companions that, We will have to get early in the morning. It is noticed on that ship that laymen used to be avoided there. They were rather considered lower. Next day, George again commands Owen. Now Owen had to carry out George's command reluctantly. Then Owen witnesses a storm at sea. He shares it with George that there is a storm at sea ahead which is a threat for us, so we should retreat our ship. Disagreeing with Owen, George commands to sail the ship in the sea storm. Sailing into the sea storm, they are caught there. Owen is also shouting at sea storm that ship must be retreated as soon as possible, but George was showing his waywardness till now, and he makes ship sail into the sea storm. Doing so, there was a threat of their lives and shipwrecking. Anyhow, they come out from the storm. After this, George orders Owen that you will apologize to me before everyone, and we will sail our ship towards our island. It means that we will retreat without whaling. But Owen tries his best to explain George that, look, try to understand the situation. We cannot return empty-handed, because it is the matter of the lives of many people. They are waiting for us that we will return while taking the oil with us, and Owen convinces George here, so they begin to sail ahead rather than to retreat. Then a time is shown after 3 months, and they sail to a part of sea where the number of whales are present. They sail on their ship for whaling. Then Owen attacks a whale. First of all, that whale tries its best to move aside. Later, it is ended. Afterwards, they pull that whale on the ship, and they started to extract the oil of it. They have to send someone into the whale, so they send Thomas into the whale because of his small size. Many days are passed of hunting. Now they were not getting more hunting, and the biggest trouble was this. They had started to face the shortage of edible things. They stop on an island in the sea because of not sailing ahead. There they meet a captain who had also come there for whaling. They all meet that man, and he tells the last story of his hunting. He tells that we had reached in the heart of the sea, where they encountered the biggest whale of the sea, and that whale was the tallest and biggest, which has been named Great Whale. But Great Whale attacks their ship, which left their ship destroyed. It fractured the one hand and an arm of the captain, and his rest of the companion were also dead. But they don't take it seriously, thinking he is fabricating a story, so that captain leaves from there. But now they have become covetous, that they should sail to that part of the sea where the great whale is present. After this, they sail ahead to reach that part of the sea. Then the story takes place in the time exactly after 14 months. After a great voyage, they finally reach in the part of the sea, which was told to them by captain, and Great Whale was also there. They all sail there, taking their weapons and boats. They are still sailing ahead that Owen's boat is attacked by someone. Consequently, they fall into the water from the boat. At the first time, they witness a great whale there. This whale was the same according to the told story by the captain. Then Great Whale began to leave, but Owen companions were still seated in the boat. Getting a chance, they attack one of the whales. They are able to end the whale, but the great whale notices them for doing so, so it directly attacks their ship, moving there. As a result, ship begins to sink. George was also observing this. Sitting in the boat, leaving that whale there, he starts moving to his ship. George commands everyone to leave the ship soon because it was going to sink. They all embark the boats now, and they get the edible things which they found by chance. In the following morning, it is seen that they were observing the sea map, but it had become tough row to hoe because they had again caught in a sea storm. In this sea storm, Owen's childhood friend is also badly injured. Now the time begins to pass, and Owen used to assist his wounded friend, while Owen's rest of the companions were just taking him as a burden, otherwise nothing else. Then the story takes place after 1 month, where their edible things had also been ended. They were nearly to die while facing the worst condition. Then their companion glimpses a land. Being satisfied, they begin to sail towards that land. Owen feels something when they are going to reach the shore. It was not the other thing but a great whale, which damages their boats while striking them. Then they reach at the shore of the sea with the speed of the ocean waves, and their condition was not worse than an animal. It means that they were eating whatever they get for their survival. Reaching on the island, then George asks his companion to ignite the fire. The reason behind it is any ship in the sea will take them away. Seeing it was an unpopulated and barren island where they were staying. One day, they find out a cave there in search of the food. There were the number of skeletons of humans. It indicates that people had entrapped there while coming, but no one arrived for their help. so they were thinking as they will also be dead like these humans. Then they start to repair their damaged boats after deciding to leave. Some of the people among them planned to inhabit the island, and Owen's childhood friend was also among them. But Owen promises his friend while going that he will come back after bringing help for him. Then the story starts after 48 days. Those people's condition was worst, and they were hardly living in the starvation. Then it is shown that one of the companions is dead. Then Owen's one of the friends was going to throw his dead body into the sea. Then they take a mysterious decision. They decide to eat his dead body rather than to throw it. It was heavy set of burden for them, but they also had no choice except it. All get worried because of this decision, but they had to do something for their survival because they were helpless as being caught in such a situation. So they eat the flesh of their friend. The story of the current time is shown again, where the aged Thomas comes on the scene, where Thomas was dejected as they had to eat the flesh of their own companion. But Owen's wife also reaches there while crying. She was grieved after hearing the poignant story of her husband. Then she says to Thomas to reveal the further story. Then the time after 1 month is shown after that happening, where those people were straying in the sea as being entrapped. They were in the worst condition because of the starvation, so they play a game in pressure with one another in order to live, in which a loser was ended. Later, all companion used to eat his flesh collaboratively. One day, that Captain George loses his game, giving a gun to his cousin. George asks him to fire it on me, kill me, but George's cousin kills himself rather than to fire a gun on him, and the rest of the people eat his flesh. One day, they again catch the sight of that great whale. Then Owen is about to attack that whale. At the same time, Owen looks into that whale's eye, so Owen does not attack that whale, and it also leaves from there. Many days later, a ship is shown and those people on ship look at the boat of George, so they help them. When ship's captain observes that there are human skeletons, so he is shocked. And that boat of Owen and Thomas had separated from another boat. Owen and Thomas were in critical condition and were dying. Then Owen notices a ship, and they call that ship for their support, and they get rid from this critical situation. At last, they are brought into their house after some days, surviving them, where the natives are surprised to see them because they had estimated that they will have dead a long time ago. Owen's wife was also waiting for him there. Owen's wife comes to him and they both meet. At the same day, Owen and Thomas also meet with each other, where Owen gifts his whale pin to Thomas as his memory. After this, company management calls Owen and George in order to hear the story which they faced in the sea. Owen begins to leave from there because their story was surely not trusted. Owen says to George while going, "Perform your duty as a captain. Reveal the truth to them." In the beginning, George tells a lie. Then he reveals the truth later, but the members of company tell the fabricated story. After this, Owen is shown. Now Owen had got a new life, so he begins his new life perfectly, and he also sent a boat for his friend on island according to his promise. But it was too late because Owen's friend was no more now. Here the story of Thomas is accomplished. Thomas asks after telling the story, "Will you reveal it before the world?" Writer replies, "Yeah, but I will give a new turn to this story that will be based on the true happening." Afterwards, the time is shown after many months. It is shown here that writer wrote the book and he became renowned, and the movie also completes on this scene.